Hello, and welcome to Insights in Action with Orange 142, where we interview agency leaders and business owners to uncover the journeys, the strategies, and the insights that drive their success. At Orange 142, we're all about transforming brand stories into impactful digital experiences through innovative media and marketing solutions. And today I'm very lucky to be joined by Bob of Purplegator. How's it going, Bob?
Yeah, great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Bob, I thank you for being here. And I'd love to just start this off by learning a little bit more about your background and a little bit more about Purple Gator.
Yeah, for sure. My career started in the television advertising industry. When I was in my late 20s, I became an entrepreneur, started a very successful telecom company, which grew to 62.2 million in annual sales and offices in the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, Czech Republic, and Taiwan. That during the 90s and the 2000s, the telecom industry was booming. So I was very fortunate to be in the right place at the right time. Unfortunately, this darn thing called the internet came along. And suddenly, what we used to be able to get 16 cents a minute for, I could get an eighth of a penny.
Yes.
It really changed the world. And I keep telling people that internet thing's going to catch on one of these days. But with that in mind, it became obvious around 2018 that I wasn't going to be able to continue to support myself in the fashion that I had with just the telecom business. So I began the marketing agency Purplegator.
Wow. You have a really interesting story because you have this long career, but that has led into this book, which I really want to talk about because the title really intrigued me. It's called Relevance Raises Responses, and it delves into mobile marketing strategies. And so I'm curious, like, what key insights from your book do you believe are most pertinent to today's digital marketers, especially in the realm of recruitment?
Yeah, for sure. Relevance Raises Response really came about. If you go back to the beginnings of mobile marketing, around the year of 2008, let's say, mobile marketing was text message marketing.
Yeah.
And one of the great things about mobile marketing, and look, I'm like a baseball guy. I love statistics and that kind of thing. So I've always been enthralled by the data that you're
Mhm.
able to get when it comes to mobile and digital, because you couldn't get that in the television industry or some of the
Yeah.
other things. Yeah, you had the Nielsen ratings and things like that, but they never were as pinpoint as they are in mobile and desktop advertising and all of mobile marketing. So really, relevance raises response is really the ability to take the data that
Mhm.
you have gleaned from your programs and enhance it and maximize it so that next month you can do even better for your clients. And so that's what I really emphasize with my coworkers is use that data because it's something that you have and it's really a way to market to the best possible customer that our agency clients have.
Wow. And so you said something really interesting there. You said back then mobile marketing was really defined within like text message marketing. What do you define as mobile marketing now? Well, what does that encompass?
Mobile marketing really has become marketing itself. When 68% of all of the media placed today and all of the marketing and advertising is done via the internet, and
Mhm.
mobile is half of that, you really can toss off the mobile anymore because it's nothing special. It's
Yeah.
part of marketing. But everything that we do at Purple Gator is really mobile first. And that's something that's a little aged right now. It came up about a dozen years ago. One of the things I emphasize, like when we do a web development, we develop it on the mobile phone first and then make it fit desktop. And that's really reverse of how most programmers do it.
Yeah.
They will do it on desktop. It's obviously a lot easier, and then you switch it over to mobile. If you're a pizza restaurant, for instance, you're going to get 90+% of your traffic from mobile. So why
Right.
wouldn't you develop it first on mobile and then make it fit desktop?
Yeah, that's absolutely true. That's so funny. We really switched there from building websites and landing pages to be desktop optimized, and now it's mobile. You're right. Everybody's looking at it or at these things on their phone, and that's become such a staple for everybody. It's back then. I remember even me. I'm pretty young, but still, growing up, I remember nobody had cell phones, and now everybody does, and now we cater to just that. And it's really interesting how you guys have really embraced that.
Back in the day when mobile was first taking hold and only 9% of the overall access to the web was from mobile, we were developing mobile websites. At the time, they were a completely different website
Mhm.
because there wasn't so much broadband and things would load very slowly. So you had to have a completely different website for mobile that was very small
Mhm.
and mobile optimized so that it was easy to navigate. So yeah, that's how I've seen the industry grow from a completely different website to the desktop. And we had a very successful company called Advanced Mobile back in the day, and we catered to auto dealers and
Mhm.
giving them the opportunity so that consumers could actually search for an automobile on their mobile phone back in the very early days of mobile.
Wow. That's awesome. Wow. And as I was looking you guys up, I saw that you guys had recently, you were named the 11th fastest growing company on the Philly 100 list. And what do you attribute to this rapid growth? And how do you plan to sustain that in the coming years?
First of all, thank you for the compliment. Yeah, we're really thrilled with some of the awards we've won in the last couple of years. One of the things that really helped us as an agency is when you're doing those comparisons of growth, we were comparing to the COVID years, and we
Mm.
all know how difficult those were for
Right.
agencies. I was very fortunate in that we remained flat during the COVID years. And one of my goals going into the COVID years was to not have to lay anybody off. And I'm very happy to say that's one of my greatest achievements in my career, I think, to get through COVID and not have any layoffs. So we're very proud about that. So it was easier for an agency to build off of those COVID years, and we did real well. But I think one of the things that when it comes to the agency business, you have to keep bringing new customers in the door. And I head up the marketing and sales end, and I pick up the phone and call people,
Yeah.
which is hard to get those under 35 to do today. But I actually pick up the phone and call, and I think that really resonates with the clients, and that helps to bring in new clients because no matter how good your agency is, inevitably you're going to lose some accounts. You're going to have churn, and it may
Yeah.
not be of any fault of your own. It may
Yeah.
just be because a new CMO came in and they have experience with another agency, and we've done a good job, but they want to move to who they're familiar with. And so it's really important, I think, for agencies to have a lead generation system in place and have salespeople that can convert them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a really good point. And I really I think about it in the tech sales approach. You notice in tech companies when you split the sales and the marketing or the sales and the appointment setting up, that's where these companies hit rapid growth. And I always wonder why don't more agencies do that? Because if you go into most agencies, it's the salespeople are responsible for the full sales cycle, including what you're saying, just picking up the phone and dialing and everything. And when you split that up, there's an interesting thing that happens. I've seen it happen in agencies as well. Hey, here's our lead generation function, and here's our sales function. They work with each other, but they're separate departments and they help each other. And I really like your view on that.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's the old story. My father owned a carpet store and my bedroom was never carpeted.
Exactly.
I think it's the same scenario with agencies. We get so busy
Yeah.
attending to clients that we forget to market ourselves sometimes. And
Right.
that's where opportunities like this shift, where I have a chance to appear in a podcast, that builds links back to our website. Hopefully some people will watch this and will say, hey, this might be a guy in a company we should consider.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And you mentioned a lot of really interesting things. One thing that you said was your biggest achievement being that you didn't have to lay anybody off. And I was curious, you like what leadership principles have guided you throughout your career, and how do you like foster innovation with your team over at Purplegator?
Yeah, good question. One of the outcomes of COVID, which I would have never guessed I would agree with prior to COVID, was we began working from home. And you know what? It worked out pretty good.
Yeah.
Uh, and I would have never thought that a business could be successful like that prior to COVID. So that changed my thinking. Yeah, I'm a boomer, but I like to think I'm still innovative and can accept new ideas. And I think that's one thing that has really been helpful, that people get to work from home. You trust them that they're not out playing golf every afternoon,
Yeah.
and they're actually at their desk and working, and people appreciate that. And it saves them a lot of money. The recent statistic I read that here in the Philadelphia market, not having to commute and buy lunch out and that kind of thing is a savings of about $8,400 a year. So it helps them, it helps us. We can have a smaller office when we get together. So the company saves money and people are working from home, and I think they have a better quality of life.
Yeah. That's crazy, right? It's almost people save all this time and stress not commuting to work and they're happier and they do a better job. What an insane concept, right?
Yeah.
Given your extensive experience in mobile marketing, how do you see text message marketing evolving and what best practices would you recommend for businesses looking to leverage this channel effectively?
Yeah, text has been around the longest of everything when it comes to mobile, but I will still say today, of everything that we do, text has the greatest return on
Oh,
investment of anything that we do, if it's done correctly.
yeah,
It's difficult for small businesses to always find the time because they maybe don't have a marketing person to do that kind of thing.
right.
But you should put as much effort into your text, if not more, than you put into your social media. And the return will be there, regardless of whether it's B2B or B2C. I've seen all sorts of great work done in our text message platforms that we host and if I can give you one best practice, this is the one I always lean on because again, it comes back to my data comment,
Mm,
how you should be checking your results the different times you send the text messages too.
yeah.
I have found that with B2B, the best time to send a text message is at 57 minutes after the hour. The reason why is because 3 minutes before, busy business people are getting ready for their next meeting, their next Zoom, and they have a little time. They're scrolling their Instagram, taking a little break before their meeting. And that's when you can really reach these people
Yeah.
via text.
Wow. I would have never thought of that. That's super interesting.
Mhm.
Very cool. Obviously, you've got a lot of experience into what works and what doesn't. With the rapid advancement in technology and the changes that are coming to the job market.
Yeah, you touched on one of our niches at Purplegator is we do specialize in recruitment for hard to fill jobs. Okay. And that actually came about from COVID because during the week that COVID first hit, I
Mhm.
literally lost 60% of my business because a lot of it was retail, restaurants. And
Yeah,
I was like, okay, what am I going to do?
yeah,
Okay. So
yeah,
it wasn't that I woke up one day and said, I want to be in the recruitment field. No, what happened was COVID was here. And I said, okay, we're gonna become experts in recruiting for nurses. Because I figured we have an aging population that's nurses have been in demand
yeah,
for a long time anyway, and we have an aging population that's going to need them. Now we have COVID on top of it, so people are going to be getting sick. So we pivoted and made our niche recruitment for nursing. I soon found out, however, that nurses are in nursing for different reasons than maybe you and I. They're not really in it for the money. They're
yeah.
in it to give back and that kind of thing. So they weren't as anxious to jump from hospital to hospital. Whereas one time we got a call and they said, okay, you're pretty good at this nurse recruitment. Can you recruit truck drivers for us? And as it turns out, it was O'Reilly Auto Parts
Oh,
and
wow.
became one of our best customers of recruiting truck drivers because they were also very much in demand during COVID. Salaries escalated for drivers
Uh,
because a lot of the older drivers were saying, heck with driving New York to LA in an 18-wheeler anymore. I'll just drive for Amazon. I have a van, a lot easier to drive, and I'll be home every night.
yeah,
So not only did a lot of the older drivers retire, but a lot of them went to last mile delivery.
yeah.
Instead, there really was a need for truck driver recruitment. And that's what got us through COVID and made up for that 60% loss.
Wow. That's very interesting. You think about, I would have never thought that truck drivers would be impacted with something like that. Because you think about an innovative company like Amazon and you see the obvious impact that it has on brick and mortar retail, but you don't see these like second and third order industries that it has an impact on. So that's so cool that you were able to find that problem and solve it for a lot of these companies. Wow, that's super interesting.
Sometimes you're just in the right place at the right time. I wish I
Yeah,
could take credit for that. That was
yeah.
one that kind of fell in our lap.
Yeah, definitely. And we've done some recruitment marketing ourselves here at Orange 142 for nurses specifically, and it's very interesting that the type of words that you have to use for that type of recruitment marketing, because it is a lot more about, hey, find your purpose here and actually feel like you're making a difference and whatnot. Bob, this has been amazing. I feel like I've learned so much. Your experience speaks for itself, and obviously you've got a wall of awards behind you. Where can people learn more about you, and where can people learn more about your agency?
Oh, thank you. In terms of me, look me up on LinkedIn under Bob Bentz. You'll find me in the Philadelphia market, and purplegator.com, one word. And you can contact me, bob@purplegator.com.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you so much for being on.
Okay, thanks. Appreciate the opportunity.